Yo, what's up guys? I'm RyGo.
And I'm Brad.
And we're gonna continue the last video we did with the big air basics, which was the inverted front roll. And we're gonna take it one step further with the inverted front roll tail grab.
With the tail grab. Add that extra bit of style.
That's right. So we just got some clips out here in Hood, and we're just gonna mix and match some clips from when I was doing a tutorial on the more simple version of this in St. Petersburg, and Brad's going to demonstrate here in Hood River with a little bit more air and a slightly different variation of it and what the next step is. So it should be a fun one, right?
Yeah, it's a
great
Let's do
it, man. You want to do the hand thing? All right, so
transition complete.
Yeah. All right, so step one on this one is just mastering your front rolls, and you could even go a step further and master that video we just did on the inverted front roll, and
yes,
all those things will apply.
If you want to do an inverted front roll with a tail grab, it's pretty important to be able to do an inverted front roll without one.
And I will let you take the lead on explaining the front roll tail grab off-axis variation, which I have clips of from St. Petersburg. I did do a video on it, but let's give our viewers your take on how to do that trick. So I've got the footage to back it up. You can explain it.
Sweet. So how to do the trick. I come into it really similarly compared to a inverted front roll just without a grab. As you get upside down, it's one thing that was important for me starting off was to really watch your front hand pressure. Because when you're upside down, it can be easy to kind of want to pull on the bar to bring yourself closer to that board. And if you leverage yourself too much on it, you may initiate a down loop a little bit earlier than you would like to. So I think keeping your hand close to the middle of the bar is particularly important for doing an inverted front roll with a tail grab. Start with bigger kites, kind of like most old school tricks. That makes it a little bit less punishing and the kite won't react quite as quickly, so you can kind of master it on a more stable platform. And then as the wind increases and your confidence goes up, you can start reaching for it with smaller and smaller kites. But I would establish yourself upside down first and then reach for the grab, kind of do like one step at a time, and then eventually you can kind of start blending that shift to upside down with the grab.
So just to elaborate further, I guess, on the inverted front roll, pretty straightforward, just like front rolls. You basically want to, when you initiate the front roll, you're looking over that back shoulder and you're tucking in your front knee, but right around the midway point, you need to poke that front leg out and get in the habit of tucking in your back knee, and that'll kind of like cork your hips around. It'll kind of cork you into that roll. And that's how you initiate that off-axis front roll.
Yes.
And then from there, it's the same thing as our last video. Front hand pressure, the tip with keeping it kind of near the middle of the bar is a good tip because you don't oversteer the kite. But practice that a ton, and you should get really just comfortable. I guess other key things to think about: grab the tail of the board, don't grab the fins, don't grab the side. You don't want to do that. You want to be deliberate with your grabs and right on the tail of the board.
Yep,
and
straight in the center of the tail. And once you get that grip on the tail, it can be a lot easier to push that other leg out to really tweak that angle now that you have an anchor point there.
It's true, it does help give you a point of access where you can really push that front leg from. So I guess on to the next step, the inversion, how to add this. I noticed in your clip that you're doing the grab a little bit later. So you kind of you're getting inverted first with the kick, but there's a twist because you're kicking with just the lead leg. Am I correct here?
Yes, it's kind of like as I go into the kick, I kind of secure that board in one hand, and then that allows me to extend all the way out. On the best looking ones that I do, I kind of make a conscious effort to kind of like the inverted front roll. If you let your chest kind of come down, and especially if you can let your head drop a little bit, and you can almost look downwind a little bit, so your kite's still kind of just in your peripheral vision, it makes it look really good because you get really nice and upside down. Whereas if you're just staring up from an outsider perspective, you'll be kind of sitting there holding that grab, but you're gonna be kind of hunched up in a ball just staring straight up, and it doesn't look nearly as stylish. So that extra little bit definitely takes it to another level of visual appeal.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about the energy that you bring to the trick, right? Like, if you look uncomfortable doing a trick, you're probably gonna look uncomfortable on video, but if you're feeling confident and comfortable with it and like letting loose, everything's gonna flow a lot better. But those are kind of the key takeaways for taking the off-axis front roll. you want to do the kick, secure the grab, and let the head back, right?
Yep.
And then from there, it's just like the other video. It's natural. You basically drop out of it. Your front hand does the rest of the work.
Yep. And it's just like the inverted front roll on its own. I mean, you don't have to start with a perfect upside down axis. You know, you can take your normal front roll with a tail grab and you can just slowly and slowly try to change that axis until it eventually shifts to a pretty vertical upside down angle.
And I guess pro tip here, get a GoPro line mount and watch yourself doing this, or have a friend film with their cell phone. Any way you can get footage of this, just so you can objectively see what you're doing. That way each time you go out, you can tweak it, get a little bit better and better and better. And filming will really help you improve your riding and your style because you know what you're doing. So I guess final thoughts, just to wrap this up and keep it clean. Again, when you're doing like the bigger air style, like Brad is going pretty big in some of these clips here, you might have to work the kite to keep a little bit of air time, and you always have to wrap it up with a heli loop or a down loop if you're going excessively high. I would say if you're jumping under, I don't know, 10 meters, sometimes you don't really need to do the, what would you say, like 12 meters, 5 meters, 10 meters?
For the need, so for a proper heli loop where it does make a full rotation, you're probably going to need to be a solid close to 10 meters up. It depends on the kite size too. You know, bigger kites will ascend a little slower, smaller kites might shoot up a little bit faster. Definitely down loops can come into play pretty early though. I would say probably within like the first 5 to 7 meters, you'll probably definitely want to have that down loop to help ease that landing in versus just a straight send back down. It definitely gives you a little bit more of a window to land with some loft. And it also kind of adds a little aspect of style because you can either ride that down loop out toe side back the other way, change directions. It can really help diversify your trick.
And to give you perspective on why this is important is because I suppose you could also just let yourself drift down and try to just time it with a redirect at the very end, but it can look awkward. And I think I actually have a clip in St. Petersburg where I went just high enough that I probably should have pulled a down loop, but I didn't. And you can kind of see that the kite's pulling me awkward right at the very end of this trick. I'm a little bit off balance, looks a little bit funny, and then I kind of land almost on an edge. And the reason that that clip that you're seeing right now looks like this is because I didn't commit to the loop early enough. I waited on it, and that was the result. Just it gives you a really awkward landing. So
yep, the down loop really adds a lot of speed
and
loft to the landing.
Yep, it's essential for a clean landing if you're going high. If you're not going very high and you're just doing very basic front rolls, it'll look really fluid and smooth. Just pull hard, it'll pull you forward. Yep. And as always, land flat, ride downwind, and ride away before you re-engage that edge. So if you guys found the video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and if you got any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks to Brad.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you guys next time.